When we contemplate Heidegger's insights, we see that his philosophical journey was in many ways a quest to uncover and express the same fundamental insights that lie at the heart of Zen. John Dado Lurie. East and West are not separate, but complementary. The best of the East and the best of the West are not opposed, but together they create a new whole, a higher synthesis. Ken Wilber. I think, therefore I am. Rene Descartes. Contemplate the sense of I am until you realize that it is an illusion. I am is the primary illusion. Nisargadatta Maharaj. In 1947, at the age of 16, a French teenager, Stephen Jourdain, had a profound spiritual awakening. Stephen Jourdain had awakened to his own self-nature and to the very nature of reality itself. Jourdain died in 2009 at the age of 77. His awakening to the nature of reality at 16 years old never left him. Jourdain went on to write many books on his awakening and on spiritual life and became famous throughout France. He became friends with some of France's greatest philosophers, including Michel Foucault and Gilles Deleuze. What had caused Stephen Jourdain to awaken? As a teenager, Stephen Jourdain became obsessed with the philosophy of Rene Descartes, particularly his Cogito ergo sum, or I think, therefore I am. Jourdain had absolutely no knowledge of and only a cursory exposure to any type of Eastern spiritual teachings. His interests were exclusively in the Western philosophical tradition, particularly the continental philosophical tradition. In the Buddhist tradition, Stephen Jourdain might be called a Pratyeka Buddha, or one who independently achieves awakening without the aid of teachers or guides and without going on to teach others to do the same. Jourdain took up Descartes' statement of the Cogito, I think, therefore I am, obsessively, considering it, contemplating it virtually non-stop in his every waking hour. His inquiry progressed to an intense inquiry very similar to that of Rinzai Zen koan practice. In Zen koan practice, a person will intensely focus upon a question in a very similar manner. The Zen practitioner will try with every fiber of their being to penetrate the question with their ordinary mind and understanding, striving to reveal the nature of reality. Rene Descartes' Cogito ergo sum is a Latin phrase that translates to I think, therefore I am. It is a famous philosophical statement and a key element of Descartes' philosophy. Descartes was searching for a completely irrefutable truth. He began by recognizing that he could doubt almost everything. He could doubt the appearance of the world itself. It may be a dream or a spell cast by a devil. It was, Descartes thought, possible to doubt almost everything. However, the one thing that Descartes felt could never be doubted was his own existence. Why? The appearance of thought. No matter what the thought, even the thought I don't exist, to Descartes proved the existence of an entity who must be thinking the thought. Descartes had found what he was looking for, a truth that could not be doubted. I exist. The fact and evidence of thinking proves it. The 16-year-old Stephen Jourdain became absolutely obsessed with Descartes' Cogito. Jourdain inquired deeply. Where and what is the thinker? Who or what is producing thought? If thinking proves there must be a thinker, where and what is this thinker? This question is very similar to the approach that we find in the teachings of the great Indian sage, Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi suggests that we inquire deeply with the question, who am I? With his contemplation of Descartes' Cogito, Jourdain found himself asking a similar, if not the same question. Who is the thinker? Jourdain reports that after many months of this inquiry, it suddenly dawned upon him that consciousness is not limited to our physical bodies, but is rather infinite and eternal. But how? How did this question lead Jordan to the realization that his consciousness was not limited to his physical body? How does this inquiry of Jordan's, or indeed of Ramana Maharshi's question, "Who am I?" lead to a deep and profound understanding of the nature of self and of reality? It may help to consider some instructions from Ramana Maharshi's small 5-page booklet, Who Am I? Or Nan Yar. You are not anything that you're aware of. Therefore, you cannot be your body nor your mind, as you're that which is aware of the body and mind. All that remains as you, therefore, is the feeling sense, I am. The apparent world, body, and mind are only apparent and temporary modifications of this sense of I am. When the world, body, and mind are not recognized as mere modifications of the sense of I am, then the world, body, and mind are mistakenly taken to be real. When the world, body, and mind are taken to be real, the sense of I am is obstructed or forgotten. Apart from thought, there is no world, body, or mind. In deep, dreamless sleep, there are no thoughts, so there is no world, body, or mind. Notice too that in deep, dreamless sleep, stripped to our most essential selves, we are profoundly blissful and happy. The sense of I am and the arising of the world, body, and mind are like the story of mistaking a piece of rope for a snake. Just as the knowledge of the reality of the rope will not arise unless the false knowledge of the illusion of the snake goes, in the same way, the reality and blissful nature of I am will not be realized unless the illusion of the world being real is removed. When the mind becomes quiet, the unreality of the world and the unshakable reality of I am becomes obvious. By inquiring, "Who am I?" all other thoughts are resolved in the I am. Thus the mind, which is only thought, becomes quiet. Finally, like a stick used for stirring a fire, the thought I am itself is resolved into the absolute. By drawing on Ramana Maharshi's teachings, we can begin to see how and what Stephen Jordan realized as a teenager, a realization that stayed with him for the rest of his life. Using Descartes' Cogito, I think, therefore I am, Jordan became obsessed with answering the question, who is the thinker? Or we might say, what is this I am that thinks? Regardless of what thoughts, experiences, or perceptions arise, I am must be there, no matter if those thoughts, experiences, or perceptions are good, bad, or indifferent. This was the undoubtable truth that Descartes had discovered. If there are thoughts, a thinker must exist. I am. Descartes, however, did not inquire further. Descartes did not inquire into the very nature of this I am. Stephen Jordan did. With no method other than this inquiry, who is this thinker of thoughts? Jordan realized, as Ramana Maharshi taught, that I am is the unshakable source of the world, body, mind, and of reality itself. That the I am is not within the world, but rather the world arises and falls within the I am. Jordan discovered the I am as pure subjectivity. As pure subjectivity, the I am can never appear as an object. Therefore, any apparent object can, in reality, only be a temporary and illusory modification of the pure subjectivity of I am. This root feeling, sense of existence, is intuited as silence, as stillness, as the immovable and unshakable source of world, body, mind, experience, and perception. In some spiritual traditions, because the I am is pure subjectivity without the slightest objectivity, it is understood as emptiness or nothingness. Ultimately, however, even the I am is outshone in and resolved into the absolute. As mentioned, Ramana Maharshi said that the I am is like a stick used for stirring a fire and will, in the end itself, be consumed by the fire. It has also been said that the I am of being is the gateway to the source of non-being. Non-being is the absolute that is beyond both being and non-being. Non-being gives birth to being. As the 13th century Christian mystic Meister Eckhart said, the Godhead is pure nothingness. Meister Eckhart also said the difference between God and Godhead is the same as the difference between earth and heaven. What Meister Eckhart is indicating is that if God is understood as pure being, that is the source of all being, then God's source, that is the Godhead, can be understood as absolute non-being. We see this understanding reflected in many of the teachings found in India, particularly in parts of the Vedas and ancient Indian texts such as the Avadhuta Gita. Again, Nisargadatta Maharaj's instructions make this clear. I am is the gateway to the absolute. The primary illusion is I am. Meditate on I am until the illusory nature of I am is realized. Nisargadatta Maharaj identified the I am as Brahman or God. He identified the absolute non-being that is prior to the I am as Parabrahman or God without any form or qualities whatsoever. In Meister Eckhart's terms, we might say that Brahman is God and Parabrahman is the Godhead. This resolving of the I am or being into the absolute or non-being can be seen as the highest and profoundest of teachings, whether in the East, as with Nisargadatta Maharaj, or the West, as with Meister Eckhart. It must also be said that there are many teachings in the East and West which claim that I am, awareness or consciousness, are the irreducible ground or reality. In other words, that there is nothing prior nor beyond I am. Regardless of which understanding of reality claimed, the process, path, and practice remains the same. A deep and consistent inquiry into the nature of I or self. In brief, simple steps, that inquiry proceeds like this. Begin by locating the sense of existing or the sense I am. Meditate on that sense. When thoughts arise, notice that they arise from this sense of I am. Inquire who or what is the source of these thoughts? Who or what is having these thoughts? Notice that the root and often very subtle thought which gives birth to all other thoughts is I am the body or mind. Remain with I am. Brush away all thoughts I am X or I am Y and merely remain with the feeling sense I am. This inquiry and noticing will, with practice, quieten the mind or thoughts. Mind will be eaten by the heart. This quieting of thoughts will allow for a deep and mindless extended absorption in the feeling sense of existing or the sense of I am. It is here with step 8 that the schools of I am as the absolute and irreducible ground of reality and the teachings of that which is beyond or prior to I am part ways. Only personal and direct experience can resolve the truth of this matter. Nothing is to be believed. With profound absorption into the I am, an extremely subtle type of understanding becomes available. An understanding that is unspeakable. An understanding that is paradoxically a not knowing, a thoughtless feeling, intuition of that which is prior to existence itself. An unimaginable realm of utter, boundless freedom. It is, however, understandable that one may become waylaid, if only for eons of time, in the blissfulness of pure being that is I am, and postpone drifting into the deeper land of absolute and unimaginable boundless freedom. The deeper land of non-being or pure potentiality. The deeper land foretold in our living by deep, dreamless sleep. I've got bills to pay. This nothingness talk is all well and good, but my wife wants a divorce and she's about to take the kids. I'm $20,000 in debt and I think my cat hates me. Life can be hard, very hard. Coming to a profound understanding of self and reality can help. But first, you must at least consider for a moment that your life may work out much better without a you in it. This is the understanding to be found in Taoism. Taoism points to the concept of Wu Wei, or effortless effort. Wu Wei is effortless action because it is action performed free of the contraction of self or me-ness. Me-ness is merely the I am the body or mind thought. To be free of me-ness, return to I am and brush off the addition of body and mind. All action arising without the sense of me-ness is Wu Wei. Wu Wei is exactly what is needed to resolve your so-called problems. Simply put, by releasing thought, most importantly the ego thought, I am the body or mind, through attention to and meditation upon the sense of existence or I am, a deeper intelligence and more effective action becomes possible. A deeper intelligence that can work out your problems a lot better than you. How? Your so-called problems, no matter what they are not real in and of themselves. Rather, they're merely thoughts and beliefs. We can easily recognize this when we see that our problem, for example owing $20,000 in debt, would not be seen as a problem for the person who's in $2 million of debt. All problems are relative to our point of view. Our point of view is constructed by what we add, such as the body or mind, to the I am. Want a fresh point of view? Don't add anything to the I am. When we identify something as a problem, we automatically create a mental construct to struggle against. By letting go of all mental constructs, by turning attention to I am, including the mental constructs of problems, we allow space for new perspectives and unforeseen solutions to appear. We begin to understand that it is very important for us to dissolve the problem first, before the mental space and deeper intelligence can appear to either solve or even deeply accept the problem. Where do thoughts arise from? Nothingness. Where will the solution for my problem come from? Nothingness. Become intimate with this nothingness by meditating on and resting in the I am. In Taoism, it is said that when we let go of the discursive or surface mind, a much deeper intelligence becomes possible for us. A thoughtless, silent, and still intelligence that can produce solutions to so-called problems that can astonish us. However, it requires that we not keep returning to problems in thought form. Rather, deal with any problem when action in the present is needed. Notice too how little time dealing with problems actually requires, and how much more time one spends worrying about the problem. Deal with the problem when required. Remain responsible, that is, respond to the best of your abilities and capacity when required. Otherwise, forget it. Forget it by turning attention to I am. Allowing the space for the solution to arise is the same as deeply trusting or having a profound faith. Relax, allow, let go, and let God. Everything is okay.
निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच।